Hey guys, it's Jake here with eTrailer. Today we have a 2023 Nissan Pathfinder, and we're going to be taking a look at, and I'm going to show you how to install the CURT Class 3 2-inch hitch receiver. Adding a hitch receiver to the back of your Pathfinder is going to allow you to tow a small trailer if you add some wiring with it. It'll allow you to haul those cargo carriers or bike racks on the back to free up some of that space inside and put it outside on a rack. This hitch will feature a 2-inch by 2-inch hitch receiver tube opening. That is going to be the most common size of hitch receiver, which is going to allow you to pick up a lot of different accessories. Most of your accessories are going to be that 2-inch size. With this hitch, you're going to get a 900-pound max tongue weight capacity and a 6,000-pound max trailer weight capacity. It'll have a 5/8-inch hitch pin hole. It does not come with a hitch pin and clip, but chances are if you pick up an accessory or you already have one, it's probably going to come with a hitch pin. Your safety chain loops are going to be more than large enough to be able to fit safety chains of many different sizes. So if you're towing a trailer, you can safely hook up your safety chains before you head down the road. Now some measurements so you know what you're getting. From the center of our hitch pin hole to the outermost part of our bumper, it's going to be about 2.5, maybe 3 inches. That's a good number to keep in mind for those accessories that fold up to the back of your vehicle. From the ground to the top inside of the receiver tube, it's about 12 3/4 inches. That's a pretty comfortable height. It wouldn't be a bad idea to look into the accessories that have a rise in the shank. Most of our cargo carriers are going to have at least a 2-inch rise in the shank, so that'll get it up to about 14 3/4 to the bottom of the cargo carrier. Just something to keep in mind when you're going in and out of steep inclines so that you don't drag those accessories on the ground. Now, if you are wanting to pull a small trailer with your Pathfinder, the wiring harness is very, very simple to get installed. You're going to have a pre-wired plug in the back paneling of the rear hatch. You just open the rear hatch, take off a few panels, plug in one harness with a relay, and then up underneath the bumper, it's going to be pre-wired for your 4-pull. So if you plan on pulling a trailer, it's very, very easy to get that in place. As far as the hitch goes, that is also going to be very simple to get mounted up. You just have to lower the spare tire, lower the rear exhaust, just to give you more room to mount the hitch, and then we're going to trim a small little pocket out of this lower plastic so that the hitch receiver tube can come out the back side. But with that being said, let's go ahead and pull it in the shop and show you how we did it. To begin our installation, we're going to have to lower our spare tire to get out of our way so we have more room to mount our hitch up in place. We'll take a cam buckle strap. We're going to put it on these two openings in our frame. Tighten up our cam buckle under the exhaust because we're getting ready to drop this. We need to support it. And we're going to take some silicone spray, spray these ends. It'll make it a lot easier to slide them off. We're going to do 3 of them, so start from the back of the vehicle and trace up to 3. Now we've got all of our exhaust hangers removed. We just used a pry bar. What you can use too is if you actually have an exhaust removal tool, you can use that. That's the best way to do it. But once you get all 3 removed, we'll just lower our exhaust, get it out of the way. It's not going to lower super far down, but it'll give us a little bit more space to be able to work. Now, per the instructions, we're going to need to cut a small opening in the bottom of our fascia, and that's so that our hitch can stick through. Typically, the instructions are going to give you a more than wide enough gap so that you definitely don't have to retrim it. What I'm going to do here, though, instead of going the 4 1/4 wide that they want it to be here, I'm going to do 3 1/2. That is still wider than the hitch opening or the piece that needs to come through here by a 1/2 inch. So hopefully that gets us a little bit closer. But then we measured 2 1/2 inches up here, which is essentially just at this line. We're going to see if that'll fit the hitch a little tighter. If not, we can always come back and trim out a little bit more. We're just going to use a multi-tool in order to cut this. Just check up behind here. There's nothing electronics in this area, so we should be good to go ahead and cut. Now we're going to come back with a razor blade and just clean up our edges. On the bottom of our frame rails, we're going to have to clean out our weld nuts. There are several down here, so I circled the 3 that we're going to use. You can tell they're all in a straight line, and it's the only the only set of them that there's 3 in a row. So we'll take some penetrating oil, spray it inside each one of them, and then clean this out with a tube brush. You want to do this no matter how new or old your vehicle is. Our vehicle happens to be brand new, so our weld nuts are pretty clean. But as your vehicle gets older, you may have rust and stuff start to fill in those gaps. And you want to make sure that your bolts aren't going to strip out when you put them in. Now with an extra set of hands, we're going to lift our hitch up. You want to slide it over top the exhaust first. We're going to get it to slide into our opening. And as long as you get one bolt started, it should hold the hitch up for you to get the rest in place. We're going to use a conical tooth washer with the teeth facing the hitch and then thread our bolts into place. Now we're going to take a 19mm socket and snug up our hardware. Now we're going to come back with the torque wrench and torque our hardware to the specifications and the instructions. Now the last thing we have to do is raise our exhaust back into place and put our spare tire back. As you can see here on the back, we just wanted to show you real quick, we still were able to fit with flying colors. Even if you trimmed a little bit less here on the front, it would probably still fit great. But as you can see, by just making a smaller measurement and cutting out that opening, it fits a lot cleaner than what the instructions say. Now with our spare tire back in place, that's going to do it for installation. Well guys, hopefully this video helped you decide whether or not the CURT Class 3 2-inch hitch receiver is right for you in your 2023 Nissan Pathfinder.